Hi, everyone. We are going to start working with code and programming our microcontrollers. But before we do that, we need to set up our environment to do so. So to start, you should go to arduino.cc, and from here you'll be downloading the appropriate software. This is something called an IDE. You've already been using an IDE. It's when we were doing the P5JS editor. That's an online IDE. We're going to download one to our computer here. So if you click on Software and go to Downloads, you'll see this thing. There may be a slight change between now and when you see this, but you should download the Arduino IDE that's listed here for whatever system you've got, Windows, Mac. I don't think any of you are using Linux, but download that and install it. Once you do, you open up the application, and I'll show you what that looks like. There are there are beta versions of this too, and there's like over nightly builds of it, and then there's these more complex sort of things. I would really shy away from the web editor. It is kind of buggy, which is why we won't be using it. So once this is downloaded and you've installed it, open up the Arduino application, and you will see something that looks exactly like this. This is your code right here. It should look really familiar from the P5 editor. We won't talk about code in this particular video. I'm going to talk you through the IDE and how to set it up for our particular board, though. Right here, this little check mark, it verifies that your code will compile. This doesn't mean that your code is going to do what you want it to do. It just means that the computer will be able to understand it. This little arrow right here, if you click on that, it would upload your code to any connected board. This obviously is where you would write any sort of code. And then there's a couple things up here that are important for you to be aware of. There's preferences, so you could change like the language. It defaults to whatever the native language of your computer is. So if you wanted to change it to something else, you could do so in there. You can also do some other things like change the font size, show off like the display line numbers, code folding, some other things in there. You can leave it as the default. If the way that your version of it doesn't look exactly like mine, that's okay. I've been making changes to this for years, and so it's probably slightly different than what you have. Some other things you'll see in here, a new file, open a file, right, once you save something. Open recent, so this will open up whatever recent files you've had. The sketchbook is something that is saved. It's a folder that's created on your computer in your documents folder, and all of your code is automatically saved inside of there. So on the Mac, it's saved inside of your home library, inside of documents. You'll see something inside of it that says Arduino, and then this is where all of your sketches will live. On Windows, it's the same thing. Inside of your documents folder. That's just in case you ever wonder where your code lives by default. That's where it is. The other thing that you'll see in here are examples. This is a really great resource for you to poke around and look for things. All these have some sort of, in the built-in examples, all these have some sort of web page that, identifies what these are supposed to be doing. It's located on the Arduino website. Some of them have links, some of them don't. It's worth looking into these if you're just looking for some basic information on stuff. The other things that that we really want to pay attention to right now in order to get ourselves set up is underneath the Tools menu. So inside of here, there's you can choose what kind of board you're using. And the board that we have, it's called the Nano BLE33, which is kind of a weird mouthful to say. That is not one of the, it's made by Arduino, but it's not what they would consider to be like a core board. It's not something that you get right away. So we need to install the board definitions for this. And you absolutely need to do this before you do any programming for your microcontroller. So under the board menu right here, you'll see this thing that says Boards Manager. So click on that and wait for a moment. And this is just a list of all the different kinds of board definitions that you can include. The one that we want to use, if you type in BLE, you'll see the very first thing that it returns. It says Arduino Embed Enabled Boards by Arduino. And this is the important part. Boards included in this package, Arduino Nano 33 BLE. So if you click on Install and you wait for a few moments, it's going to download this and install it. And once that's set up, and you need to wait for, it takes a minute, but once that's set up and this and it says that it's done installing, then you can close the Boards Manager, go back to the IDE, and you can start watching the next video where we'll get into plugging our board in and writing some code to control it.